She wanted to become Korean. Why the K obsession is worrying Indian parents? Ghaziabad suicide show the dangers of fandom turning into a fixation among vulnerable youngsters. Surabhi Prabhakar with daughter Sarah. It's exciting to see kids exploring the culture, music, food, and entertainment of another country. What worries me is that they are trying to be somebody they are not. Mumbai's teen Kiara named Chase recently got a Korean style haircut, tattooed a K-pop lyric on her arm, and insisted on speaking only Korean at home. But when she told her Korean language teacher that she wanted to become Korean, alarm bells started ringing at home. She stopped eating Indian food, preferring tteokbokki and ramen. She spent her savings on K-beauty products, which led to skin problem. We feared had she would lose her cultural identity, so we had to intervene and take her for counseling, Kiara's mother says. Indian child K obsessed. Trauma therapist Bhakti Joshi says parents need to watch out for the following red flags. The child's identity starts narrowing, self-worth, appearance or future goals are overly tied to idols of Korean beauty or relationship ideals. The child experiences distress, irritability, or emptiness when unable to access content, updates, or phantom communities. Withdrawal from age appropriate relationships reduces while parasocial bonds intensify. Distorted comparisons, body dissatisfaction, skin tone, shame for feeling inferior because they don't look or live like the cultural icons they see, a loss of psychological flexibility, rigidity like only this music matters or only these people understand me. Mumbai teen Kiara named Chase recently got a Korean style haircut. Kiara is not the only 20 Kiara is not only the 20, not only twin swept by Halley or the Korean wave, whether it is TV shows, mobile games, or beauty products. The influence of South Korea's cultural the influence of South Korea's culture across India and the globe is undeniable, but this fascination for all the kings K to K tragic turn recently when three young Ghaziabad sisters ended their lives. Reports suggest their love for Korean shops, games, and culture had become obsessive. They had allegedly adopted Korean names, Maria, Eliza, and Sandy, inspired TV shows, and had wanted to travel to Korea. The trio had been pulled out of school following the family's financial constraints and spent their time watching K content and posting on their social media channel. Just days before their suicide, the girl's father had taken away their phone. Being a parent is tougher than being a politician. You are constantly worrying, judging yourself. She was 4 months pregnant when her father, active politician Sunil Dutt, passed away suddenly, pushing Priya Renkan into public life at a deeply personal moment. She took on her father's legacy and went on to serve as an MP for 2 terms before stepping away from politics. She continues to work with the Nargis Dutt Foundation Now, as a mother of two, navigating the bittersweet phase of being an empty nester, she speaks to Neha Bhayana about letting go, guilt, and teaching kids resilience. In your recent post on X, you spoke about learning to let go and love from a distance. As your son Siddhartha 20 and Sumit 18 are studying abroad, a lot of parents struggle with the so-called empty nest syndrome. Has it been difficult for you? I know that once kids reach a certain age, you need to let them fly. But it's extremely difficult to let go. When kids grow up and move away, I think they take a little bit of your heart with them. I keep looking at their photographs on my phone and it brings back memories of them growing up. Of course, it makes you very happy when you see them grow and make a life for themselves. Even now, when they come for their holidays, it's like they never left. You are still doing the same things for them. You are still making sure they eat. They also behave like small children when they are back home. They want to be pampered and have everything done for them. In Siddharth, who is studying the business of cinematic arts inspired by his Mamu Sanjay Dutt. I guess he is very interested in filmmaking, but I think he has been sensible and taken up the business of cinematic arts because it's a more solid foundation. Will we see him acting in Bollywood films too? Failure and success go hand in hand in many ways. It is very important to fail to learn and then become better. We will have failed in some way in our lives and come back up and done something amazing afterwards. I don't know yet, but is a complete he has a complete movie buff. He loves cinema and he loves what goes behind and what goes behind the making of a film, but no plans for Bollywood yet. I think they are too young and we have never really put it in their heads and that they have to join the movies, they have to find their own path. I have never tried to influence their thought process. Had either of them displayed an interest in politics? I don't think they are inclined towards politics. There are so many different careers to choose from. Depending on one's interest, they have an opportunity to explore so much more. You were expecting to rather one when you joined politics after your father's demise. How did you cope? It was a 360-degree turn. I was 4 months pregnant when my father passed away. An election had to be held within 6 months. Suddenly, this whole whirlwind happened in my life. I was very reluctant because that's not something I had planned for at all. But I took it on and started campaigning. That was the time when there were floods in Mumbai, July 2005. I was hugely pregnant and going into the slums where the relief work was happening. There was a lot of devastation, so I walked till the end. I filed my nomination and went to the hospital. I had a cesarean section and 5 days later I was back on the trail because there was a 15 days window for campaigning. I had to schedule my day in such a way that I was back home every 2 years, 2 hours to feed the baby. Then I would hit the road again. My doctor thought I was crazy. He said you should just sit in a car and wave out to people. What kept you going? When I look back, I don't know how I did it. I feel like there was some force out there which kind of supported me. I would cry because I didn't want to leave my baby. I used to fight with my husband. Every day, everything comes out on your husband. Finally, it was a very difficult time. Your time as MP coincided with the first 10 years of your children's lives, but Did you ever feel that you missed out on their childhood? There was a time when I felt that a lot. When Jesus was small, I used to take him to Delhi with me, but then he started play school and in 2 years I got pregnant again with my second son. So it was quite crazy. I could not take my little one with me because Siddharth was here and I wanted them to bond. I would run back on the weekends to be with them. Of course, there was a lot of guilt that I had to deal with. My husband was a huge support. We used to ensure that we didn't travel at the same time, but I was always clear that my children and my family are my first priority. There were times when I couldn't go for a political function or meeting because my kids needed me. I would not compromise on that. Did you try to keep your kids away from politics? I never involved my family in my politics. Whatever I had to deal with in my political life, I dealt with alone. Being a parent or a politician, what according to you is the tougher role? Being a parent is tougher than being a politician because you are a nurturing and creating these human beings. You have to be sure about the values you are imparting because they are going to grow up to be the person. Being a parent is a learning journey, and yet you are constantly judging yourself. You are constantly wondering, am I doing the right thing? Am I giving them the right advice? You are always hoping and praying that they turn out to be good human beings. I would tell my kids lots of stories because I think stories really stay with children about their grandfather, their grandmother, little anecdotes so I could instill in them the right values. Which is the most important value you try to instill in your sons? Humility. I always tell my sons that no matter how big you become or where you reach in your life, always keep your feet on the ground. Always have that humility because nothing is permanent in our life and we have seen it. You are up here today, you are down there tomorrow, so don't fear failure or let success go to your head. I feel today's kids put too much pressure on themselves. Everything is about success and achieving something, but life is not like that. These are very important life lessons because failure and success go hand in hand in my way. It's very important to fail, to learn and become better. We all have failed in some way in our lives and come back up and done something amazing. Your family has dealt with a fair share of challenges. How can parents prepare their children to be resilient? My sons have also seen the ups and downs in our family. I always speak to them about everything openly. I feel that we become so protective, trying to shield our kids from everything, but they are going to be out there in the real world. It's better to prepare them now. The entire course of Indian parenting is on Mars. Every parent wants their beta or beti to come first. Should our thoughts change? I had spoken about this in Parliament when there was a spate of suicides. If only your class 10 result matters, then why are we doing this as mission?